And Trevor, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Excellent, excellent. From what I'm hearing, you are have been in the TradersPost sphere long before me, so Mike has an affinity for you over me. But that won't last forever. By this
Geez.
time next
Well,
year, you will be a distant memory.
we'll check in at the end of the show with whether I'm still on
Don't
his good list.
don't get jealous now, Tom. I still got you under my other wing.
Excellent. Perfect. So, I just wanted to get a handle on that. I mentioned Trade Beacon at the beginning, but Trevor, I was hoping you can give us a little bit of rundown of what Trade Beacon does.
Yeah, for sure. So we launched in January of last year. We saw a need for just hooking up TradingView strategies to Discord. Discord, unfortunately, is kind of the best notification system. And what we had noticed in our own trading was that if we'd only caught a divergence on a particular time frame for a particular stock, we could have gotten a big move. So we are like, hey, why don't we take a significant amount of time and create 300 alerts from TradingView and hook that up to Discord, and our the fans of trading and the people that we already knew from our own Discords that we were in. We were like, hey, we're launching this thing. Let's hop in there for free, and we sort of did like the free to paid model, and ultimately has grown from one indicator that we provided. Now I think we have around 8 indicators with auto trading services, a couple different bots that are running. So it's a lot. A lot has happened in the last year, and we're just happy to be here, honestly.
Awesome. How does Trader Post fit within that whole scheme? Obviously, we're using that for the automation, but were you always using Trader Post, or was it a
We,
godsend when it showed up?
yeah, no, we weren't. We had a trading bot that would run off of supply and demand zones where we could pass those trades onto Discord. As we created more and more indicators, a lot of our customers were just like, "Man, I wish that I could have taken this trade in the middle of the night." So we were looking for a solution for hooking up those indicators and strategies to people's brokers. One of our buddies had said, "Hey, have you heard of Traders Post before?" I thought that it was going to be super complicated, and there are elements that are pretty complicated, but it's, I mean, for me, coming from like the webhook world and pushing notifications to different services and reformatting JSON and stuff like that, it was very straightforward. So yeah, it's been, knock on wood, it's been glitch free and a pretty awesome service for us, especially being able to give people access to the strategies. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that kind of early on that it wasn't Zapier that you had gained a lot of experience with. It was a competitor to Zapier that gave you some of that familiarity of wiring services together. What was the name of that platform again?
Pably,
Pably. That's right.
Pabbly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously using platforms like that is a really good analogy for Traders Post in general, because it is kind of a similar concept. You're connecting the webhook alerts from TradingView off to Traders Post, and then we're routing everything out from there. But I guess in your case, it makes it even more attractive, and especially for strategy developers or people who are sharing a strategy to their community, to use Traders Post because of our built-in sharing functionality. How has that experience been for you from an access standpoint, like managing access to the strategy and sharing out signals to your subscribers?
Yeah, I mean, it's when people sign up, I think that most everyone expects that it's going to be a lot more involved as far as the process is concerned, because of kind of the simplicity of our strategies. We don't have, everything is basically handled by TradingView as far as the take profit and stop loss and all those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
So when we add people and give them access to our strategies within Traders Post, it's just a couple mouse clicks and they hook up their broker. And I remember in the beginning, it was kind of just like a little harrowing, because you just like, okay, like that's it, like let us know how that first trade goes. So as we've learned, kind of, become comfortable with the fact that if a trade exits and someone's hooked up to the strategy the way that we have it written, they won't enter. They won't enter the backside of a trade. That was kind of nerve wracking at the beginning. No, it's been super awesome to be able to give people access. We can see when the trades fire. We don't have a ton of visibility into if it errors, but because we have a good relationship with our community, I'm always kind of going, hey, I saw this was doing this. Can you give me more insight into how you have this hooked up? But everyone's loved it. So
That's great. Good to hear. I think one other aspect there in terms of it being a technical product is that all the heavy lifting is really done by you. Anybody who joins TradersPost to subscribe to your strategy really just has to connect their broker and subscribe to your strategy. Make sure the settings are the way that they want them. The trading settings are relevant to them: position size, take profit, stop loss, if that's relevant, things like that. But they don't have to worry about the TradingView side of it: the take profit, the stop loss, the alerts themselves. All that's coming from you, and then you're sharing out that signal to the rest of your community, which I think is obviously great from their perspective, because then it's just less work for them. They have less things to figure out. So as a strategy community, you get this advantage to not only share the signals, but also like share the technical process is owned by you as well. Does that sound about right?
For sure. And I think that what's funny is in the beginning, we thought that the hooking up to the brokers would be the most difficult part. But since TradersPost is so straightforward, and especially with giving people access is super straightforward, like, we were always worried that people would, create their own strategies and hook it up to TradersPost and they won't need us anymore. And it's like, it's very easy to, once you kind of have some experience, to hook up a strategy to TradersPost and have it fired to your broker. And I think a lot of people are like very anxious to go, hey, let me mess around with it. Anyone can do it because of how easy it is. Do you have a strategy that actually is profitable? I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
That's the harder part. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's just like anyone can do it. I mean, I could teach anyone to do it, but do you have a strategy? Does it account for everything? Because people look at back tests and think that that's going to work. But it's been funny because people will go, I'm going to hook this up, and they're like, oh, this isn't how I thought it was going to go. It's like, well, it's not as easy as, the strategy part's the most difficult thing. TradersPost makes the rest of it easy.
That's right. Yeah. And we definitely don't want to confuse the two. We're trying to make a very easy product to automate trading and automate the process of sharing strategies with other people. What we know is almost an impossible endeavor sometimes is creating a profitable strategy. So good on you for finding one in both gold and M&Q. Can you tell us a little bit about the strategy concept itself and kind of how it operates and what people can learn, or where people can actually find you? I know you're on tradebeacon.io, but if they're interested in learning more about it, it'd be good to hear how the strategy works and the history behind it.
Yeah, for sure. So we have 3 strategies right now. One runs on M&Q on the hourly. It's basically like a mean reversion strategy. Our gold bot runs off of the 5-minute, and that is running off of micro MGC. That is a strategy like the M&Q one has a stop loss, has a take profit. Gold bot doesn't. It'll average down on trades, and it'll keep moving the profit up and up and up. That one has been extremely profitable for the people that have been hooked up to it. It's been running for 6 months. I think on the 50K account, a number of people are up like 12 or 15 grand, which is kind of crazy. Nice. We have a third one that it's running off the same principles as the gold bot, but it doesn't average down. It has a stop and it has a take profit, and that's still running on the 5-minute. So with us, it's been a lot of, finding that balance between small time frames, because everyone wants something that's going to enter a lot of trades, during the day. Not like high frequency, but they're like, hey, let's have it enter a bunch of times during the day, and balancing that out with realistic expectations of slippage and execution times and all those things. So yeah, it's we've been just trying to figure out, one, the things that are profitable, two, the things that are not as stressful. Goldbot is awesome, but we care a lot about people and their money and everything, and it's a little bit stressful when kind of things are being averaged down. So we're always trying to find that balance between making money, being realistic, not losing money, and making sure that our strategies are operating well and we have kind of redundancies and stuff like that. And I think that's where TradersPost has really allowed us that visibility to make sure everything is firing where it should be.
That's great. That's great to hear. I guess maybe the other thing to ask about here is really, how has the process gone when things go awry from a strategy community perspective? Like, it sounds like you're in touch with everybody via Discord, but as a strategy owner on our platform, do you feel like you have all the insights you need to manage the trades as they go through as well?
Yeah, for sure. I remember when we first went live, it was our our members are very like, not like they're okay with it being beta, but it was definitely like a little beta when we first went live. And I remember that first trade went through, and we just were like, all right, it's maybe it had to take. We couldn't remember what happened, but we went to exit everybody, just to make sure that everything was running well. And I didn't realize you could just flatten, and ended up like selling and then selling short. It was just like this whole,
Right.
like, I didn't know how to just make it end. If we were like, all right, that was crazy, let's just end it.
The magic of action equals exit.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
becoming, just being very comfortable and going, okay, like if I send an exit signal, like everyone's exit, everyone's out. Because, the downside of this whole thing is just that we don't have full visibility. Two, we can't control what people are doing, whether they're exiting early, whether they're disconnecting. You just don't know. So when we're like, all right, let's just really make sure that this is done, you send an exit, and that's over. But yeah, it's just becoming super comfortable with the platform and becoming comfortable with all the functions, and just making sure that you understand that, because obviously this is people's money at the end of the day.
Yeah. Tom, did you have a thought in there?
Yeah, well, one, I love when you were saying the message for the 10 should be, I wish I could have taken that trade in the middle of the night. That's going to end up in marketing material, I'm sure, for TradersPost. But also the idea there of that the trades, the strategy needed to take trades throughout the day, because there's a performance of the strategy, and then there's people feeling like it's actually trading. And I thought that was a great idea, that you have to balance off how people feel about the strategy as well as the strategy itself. So that's pretty cool. Do you have anything? Here's my big question is, if there's any features on TradersPost you wish we had, any things that you wish we can add or change or do that might make your life easier. So you can speak now or forever hold your peace.
Trevor's like, I got a punch list of 75 things.
How much time do you have? No, I mean, it's just the thing. I mean, I'm literally texting Mike at 10:30 at night. Hey, have you ever thought about, that's, no, it's like there are things that I think, because I'm such a power user, and because I have a tendency to break things, where I'll go, hey, I don't know if this is necessary, or maybe this is overly complicated. There is a certain, nerd factor to it, which is necessary in order for, someone to know how to create a strategy in the beginning. But no, I mean, we're working through a lot of different things. I think that TradersPost is just iterating every single day, every single week, and it's only gotten better since we've been signed up. Adding features that we're like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. It's a delicate balance between having full visibility and the legalities of, taking over people's accounts. So I think that TradersPost is, has navigated that very well. And no, there's not a whole lot to add, really, just little tweaks.
Maybe, I don't know if this is something you want to speak to, but I know one area that we're looking to support more and more is around prop firm trading. Did you have anything you want to share there about how we can support your use of prop firm accounts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've talked at length about the entire thing that's going on now with prop firms, about how crazy it is. And I think copy trading and syncing of multiple accounts is huge. I know that you personally use TradersPost as sort of like a hub for all of your investments and all of your brokers and stuff like that. So I think as we continue to see developments in the marketplace, Top Step, Apex, all those things, copy trading, or throwing in those paper accounts, it'll be really interesting. We're super excited for anything that comes out of TradersPost in regards to prop funding. But yeah, I mean, copy trading would be big if we were able to push. For us, it's like, because we care so much about people, we're always trying to like figure out legally what we're able to do, as far as if we disagree with a trade or think a trade should exit early and we kind of have our hands tied. We're looking forward to doing more prop things where it's on paper accounts, where we have more freedom to kind of go, I don't feel good about this, or maybe enter a trade that's not based off an automated strategy. So that'll be super exciting to see. That's a thing.
Yeah. And if it wasn't already clear from this the hint I was giving here around prop firm trading in general, we are actively working on major improvements to the TradersPost platform to support this and support that whole industry. We're big fans of the growth of the industry and also the number of prop firm trading companies out there that are doing it legitimately. By the way, we're not fans of all the prop firms, but many of the big prop firms, and the ability to share ideas in the prop firm space, get through funded accounts, get through the evals, I think is an interesting space to be in, and something we're looking to support more and more in the coming months. We're working on some partnerships with some of the bigger prop firms as well.